Today, the way the economy is, I think everybody should have health insurance, or the poorer people or the middle class should at least get a break.
It would be like less stress for everybody if everybody was just on equal playing field and everybody got the same health care benefits.
In general, there's a lot of flaws in it that need repairing.
Which is why Governor Peter Shumlin wants to reform health care in the state of Vermont. His solution is a single-payer health care plan. But how does that compare with what we have today? In our current system, over 90% of Vermonters have some sort of health insurance. About 2/3 of those have private insurance, and 1/3 are covered by government programs, Medicaid, which covers low-income and disabled people, and Medicare, which covers people over 65. Our healthcare system is complex, but here's a general idea of how it works. Now, people with private insurance will go to a doctor for treatment, and that doctor bills one of 3 insurance companies operating in Vermont. That patient may pay part of that cost through a copay or deductible. The premiums for the insurance are paid by the patient's employer, though with most plans, the employee also picks up a portion of that tab. For the 1/3 of the population in Medicaid and Medicare, they go to the doctor, and the doctor bills the government for the services. Now, the government only picks up about 60% of those costs, so doctors raise the rates for people with private insurance to make up the difference. The coverage is not free for patients, who also have to pay a deductible and copays. Advocates for a single-payer plan hope to streamline the system by having everyone covered by a single insurance company contracted by the state. And the state government, not employers, would pay for the coverage. However, employers and citizens would still fund the system, but through taxes instead of premiums.
It would look like Medicare. You'd have security. You'd know that if you change jobs, you've got the same plan. If your kids grow up and move out of the house, they're going to be covered somehow. There's a security.
Jean Keller is a healthcare consultant. She says single-payer plans can streamline coverage and simplify benefits for Vermonters.
Predictability. You know exactly what your coverage is. As a consumer, you know what will be paid for.
And no matter where you are in your life, Keller claims a single-payer plan will always be there.
That kind of guarantee that no matter how your living situation changes, your circumstances change, your kids' circumstances change, you know your health care is paid for.
I already have health insurance. I pay for my own, and I like it just fine.
Some Vermonters like Mark Bouchette would rather keep things the way they are. He believes health care coverage is a choice, not a right.
And I like to be the one making the decision of whether to pay the price versus having that decision taken away from me.
Bouchette runs a family business, Homeport on Church Street in Burlington. Having lived in Canada and the U.S., he's seen his health insurance costs go down now that he's in the U.S.
They took more out of my paycheck there than they took out of my paycheck when I came here. So I was able to get myself pretty much the same coverage here for less money than I was able to get it there.
Dr. Bob Emmons is also against a single-payer plan.
That big, complex systems tend to result in medical care that's bureaucratic, impersonal, and inconvenient.
He believes the doctor-patient relationship will suffer by adding more government involvement in healthcare decisions.
So single payer would have lots of rules and regulations for doctors to follow, and patients would be on the receiving end of that.